What makes a man interesting to women? Now, I want to be very specific with this. Interestingness itself, not necessarily attractiveness, not necessarily what makes them hot or sex appeal, but what makes someone interesting. And interestingness is a very interesting characteristic. It's a very interesting quality in and of itself because when it comes to beauty, you just feel that is beautiful. When you see something that you find sexy and arousing, well, you feel that emotion very clearly. And you want to have that relationship with that person on that level because they ignite that passion on that level inside of you. Interestingness is a bit of a different quality. It's more of an invitational quality that supports these other qualities of attractiveness and sex appeal and friendship. So, what makes someone interesting is their ability to first entice interest and then maintain interest. It is a quality in and of itself, but it always has to do with how it supports these other qualities of what makes someone an admirable friend. They have values and morals that make them a good friend. They have traits and maybe ways of behavior and ways of how they look that makes them sexy. And then they have the ways that they behave and the way that they look that makes them beautiful, right? Because when I think of a relationship on any level, casual or serious, I kind of see these three qualities working in tandem, and they're pretty much all of what creates a relationship. Is their beauty, it's their sexiness, and then it's their friendship. Because if you think of, let's say, a wife, you're going to hopefully find her beautiful on some level, which can have a physical and a mental aspect to it. You can find someone who is sexy to you on a physical and mental level. And then you can also have someone who is a friend to you on a physical and mental level. And if you just take a moment, you can already start to think of, well, how does friendship look physically? And then how does friendship look mentally? Right? So there's the kindness of the way that they act, the way that they look at you, the way they smile at you. And then you have the kindness of their actual feelings about you and their actual actions towards you. And so we can apply that to both beauty and sexiness. But interestingness is more of a bridging quality. When you think of a present, you have the wrapping and then you have the gift inside. And so when it comes to sexiness, beauty, and friendship, they each have their own wrapping quality and they have their actual gift quality. So sexiness is the way that they look. Do you like girls with a big ass? Do you like big boobs? Do you like big, lips with red lipstick and super sexy formal wear? Or do you like girls who look more casual? Or, when she's naked, how does she look to you? That's the wrapping of sexiness. But then the actual act of sexiness is, how does she kiss? How does she speak to you? How does she talk dirty? What's the way that she walks, right? You can find a woman who just has such a sexy way of walking. And this applies to beauty as well. She's very beautiful, but is she beautiful in her actions? Does she have grace? Does she have poise, right? So start to understand the different levels of the wrapping and the actual gift inside to understand what creates what we call a relationship. But interestingness is mostly a wrapping quality. And when someone has interestingness in their personality, they have these other characteristics of friendship, beauty, and sexiness. But added to those qualities in and of themselves is also the ability to make those traits interesting. And what makes someone interesting is how they form those expressions and how they choose to express those characteristics and behaviors and what we call fundamentals. So I'm going to use this word fundamentals to kind of group everything together. So when I talk about the way you speak, the way you keep eye contact, the way you look at things, the way you move your body, is it slow, is it fast, is it poised, is it rough? Is it eccentric? Is it refined and gentlemanly? What are the kind of clothes that you wear? Do you wear suits? Do you wear casual clothes? Do you wear really eccentric, weird clothes? Do you wear no clothes at all? Everything, all of these passive and active, demonstrable characteristics that you have, we can call them the fundamentals. Whereas the way that you actually choose to act, the things that you do, the things that you say, and the actual things that you think, those are the more active characteristics. Whereas these more sometimes active, right? Because the way you speak is active, and then the way you look is kind of more passive. Once you put on those clothes, they are there, right? But they are an expression of what's actively going inside your head because you chose to present yourself in this fashion. So when you start to look at interestingness, I want you to see these qualities of beauty and sexiness and friendship, like their admirable qualities of morality and virtue. Those qualities have to be presented if you want to be successful in dating. Because what a lot of people do is they only focus on what's on the inside, or they only focus on what's on the outside. So you have people who are very good at creating a beautiful wrapping, but then when you open it up, they're not actually beautiful, sexy, or kind and virtuous on the inside. So they're rapper focusers or rappers, right? Just think of rappers, right? Bling bling, show, hose, money, cars, loud music, having fun, party, drinks, guns, violence, right? It's very showy, it's very demonstrable, you can feel it. But when the music stops, when the party's over, are they a cool person? Are they a good person? Are they an attractive person? Are they a sexy person? Etc. Wrapping versus the gift inside. Or you have the kind of people who only focus on the gift. These are the kind of people who say, who you really are deep down is the only thing that matters. And while that has merit to it, a lot of people who say that aren't even good on the inside either. That's just their own, refuge of ego to hide in when they're not good at rapping. They don't present themselves. They're not beautiful. They're not sexy, nothing like that. And on the inside, they also suck too. But that's their only way to kind of defend themselves against this awful truth that they have nothing redeemable going on with them. And some people truly are like this. But even if you do have someone who actually is admirable on the inside, beautiful on the inside, sexy on the inside, right? She's not sexy on the outside, but she can be sexy. The way that she can kiss, the way that she can move her body, the way that she can be in bed is actually, it's amazing. Or she actually is a good person on the inside, but she doesn't know how to demonstrate those qualities on the outside. That's good and that's admirable. But if you can learn the skill to actually express yourself and create that wrapping, then you could have so much more success. There's no downside to it. And unfortunately, in this world, people tend to either extreme. And the problem is that the people who tend towards the wrapping extreme give the wrapping a bad name. They give rappers a bad name, right? So what happens is those people only create the outside. And they'll become interesting on the outside. They'll lure you in. They'll make you think that they are such a wise person. They're such a moral person. They care about the world. They care about the environment. They care about this. They care about that. They're so smart. They've read all of these books and da-da-da-da. But then once you actually get to know them, they're very hollow and maybe even sometimes evil. And they only put on that act on the outside to hide the fact that they haven't done any work to polish the diamond that is inside. And what happens is people see so much of this, and what they do is they associate people who are very good at creating a wrapping, and they presume that if you have a beautiful wrapping, there must be something ugly on the inside. And so these people will forego improving their ability to make a beautiful wrapping and make themselves interesting on the outside. What I want to tell you is that these are not mutually exclusive. They're not necessary conditions for each other, right? Just because you have a beautiful outside doesn't necessarily mean that there is an ugly inside, and vice versa. I want you to understand that these are separate skills. And in this video, I'm focusing more on what makes someone interesting on the outside. So what makes someone interesting on the outside? Because I want you to master the rapping. So these fundamentals that I've discussed, the way you move, the way you talk, the way you look, you can develop these skills in one of two ways. First, you can appeal to the crowd that you want to appeal to. And it sounds superficial, but it's not, so long as you actually are this person down deep inside. So if you like girls who are the hippie girls, the hipster girls, the business girls, right? Just think of archetypes just to make this easier to understand. It's not limited to this, but it just helps you understand it. If you want to appeal to those types of women, then you need to start presenting yourself in the ways that they do, right? Reflect the qualities unto her that you want from her, and the qualities you want from her reflect onto her. It's a two-way mirror. I want you to see the women that you want and learn to become what it is they want. And so long as you're not betraying your values or your true morals, this isn't some superficial, fake, manipulative act. You're just becoming that which you want to become by attracting what you want to become, because you and her should both, to a certain extent, be reflective of each other. And of course, share with each other and improve with each other, but become what she wants, and you will get her because that's what she wants. It's a very simple equation. So present the rapping, be interesting by appealing to her interests. It should be a huge light bulb in your mind, like, duh, like, why are you making this video about it? But no one is doing this correctly. If you like girls who do this and do that and do this, then go and do those things and show her, talk about those things, learn what she likes and demonstrate those things to her. And of course, people aren't limited to archetypes. So if you're on a date with a girl who has this one particular archetype, and you're on a different date with a different girl who has this different archetype, but both of those things are of interest to you. This girl likes this kind of music, while this girl likes this kind of music. Well, if you like both of those kinds of musics, then it's not superficial for you to, with this first girl, focus on the music she likes. She's interested in that type of thing, so show her, talk about, demonstrate, act like you like that thing. And then with this other girl, don't talk about the interests and the hobbies and the characteristics that the first girl found fascinating, because even though those are a part of you, this other girl isn't interested in those kinds of things. So demonstrate the interests and the hobbies and the fundamentals in how you speak and how you act to the second girl based on what she likes. You become interesting by focusing on what interests her. However, there is a level above this, and this is what I call universal interestingness. This is the kind of person who can appeal to almost anybody on a broad range, and usually the best examples of these are celebrities and world-famous artists and actors and politicians and whatever. These are the kind of people who, even if they don't appeal to what this one particular person likes in their own world, they can look at this person and that person presents their rapping, the way that they act, the way that they speak, the way that they talk about what's interesting to them in such a beautiful way that the light shines so strongly that even if they aren't looking in that direction because it doesn't interest them, they are still forced to look in that direction because the light is so bright. So they're over here looking at this kind of music, this kind of religion, this kind of philosophy, these kind of politics, and da-da-da-da-da. But this person is able to present themselves in such a magnificent and beautiful way that they see the light in the corner of their eyes and they are forced to look in this direction and go, that's interesting. Maybe I want to go and open up that gift. Not because I'm interested in that color and that wrapping and that bow and that type of box. You know, I like luxury boxes. This is a simple box. But they did this simple box in such a beautiful, skillful way that I can't help but want to open that box up. That's how you become universally interesting to women. And the way that you become universally interesting to women is you take these fundamentals, the way you speak, the way you act, the way you walk, the way you talk, and you master it in the way that you do it to the best degree that you can. If she likes super serious or, business kind of men, but you're this wild, eccentric artist, but you have learned how to do it so amazingly well because you've paid attention to the way that people respond to you and you've learned and crafted your art of presenting yourself and you've mastered that to such a degree that this woman coming from a different world completely is still interested in you because you present it so well, that is when you have mastered your fundamentals and become universally interesting. So, how do you become interesting to women? Very simple. You create a wrapping that she wants to open because that's what she's interested in, or you just do your own wrapping so amazingly well that it's interesting to all women everywhere. This is Hector Castillo from girlschase.com. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you're interested in my courses or in coaching or in my books, you can check out the description below and you can see everything explained and ready to click and ready to buy if you find my advice interesting. And if you don't, well, that's fine. I hope you enjoyed the video anyways. Please like, subscribe, ring the bell, and I hope you have a magnificent day.